Welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the seeds that I purchased for the 2026 year garden. 2026 garden year, there we go, and beyond, because I won't be using all of these seeds in my garden this year, but it's something that I am going to stock up on with a couple of varieties. Now, I went into this video thinking that I would just share with you every variety or every seed order, and I was kind of going back and forth like multiple times because I too like to see what other people are purchasing and growing in their garden. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how much I purchased per company and then go over every variety in and of itself. Now, I categorized this into herbs, vegetables, and fruits, and then flowers. Before I get myself all planted and cozy and we go over the multitude of seeds that I purchased, I did go ahead and write down everything that I bought this year. Johnny Seeds, Rare Seeds, and M.I. Gardener were the three companies that I chose to purchase from this year. I like Botanical Interests as well, but I just didn't have anything that I needed from them because my order last year will carry me over not only for this year, but next year also. When it comes to seed buying, every company is going to have a slightly different inventory, which kind of keeps the market open for us to spend more money, unfortunately. But in order for me to get free shipping, which is extremely expensive through Johnny Seeds, I have to spend $200. We buy a lot of pelleted seeds through Johnny Seed, and if you're not aware of what that is, it is seed that looks like this, where it's basically pelleted. So in here is carrots, and carrot is one of those very frustrating seeds to plant. I will share this variety with you though, because the seeds are so small. But what I like to do, because I'm growing a very large storage crop variety, is strategically plant them. And buying pelleted seed, not only in carrot, but also with lettuce, that I will also share with you guys, it helps me as a home gardener really take advantage of the money that I'm spending towards the seed and getting a return on my investment, because it does me nothing if I'm going to just be wasting sprinkling seed and because I planted it somewhere else or it just kind of got washed away, I'm not really getting anything. I'm not reaping what I'm sowing. So Johnny Seeds was a total of $218.75. Breaking that up, herbs was a total of $48, veggies were $30.65, and then flowers is really where I spent a lot of money from Johnny Seed, because again, they have pelleted flower seed, and some of the flower seed are teeny tiny, like smaller than mustard seed. It's crazy. So that was a total of $127.60, giving you a grand total here of everything from Johnny Seeds. Rare Seeds, very minimal order, like I said, again, because my order from last year kind of will carry me over. But I had a terrible tomato year last year, and all my tomatoes died, and I planted a lot of tomato seeds. So Rare Seeds was a total of $50.88. Herbs were $6, veggies were $28, and then flowers was basically 14 and some odd cents, which brought me to $50.88. M.I. Gardener, I did spend a lot because the seed there is so cost effective. The seeds have a really good germination rate, and every seed packet is $2. Plus, a lot of the seed that comes in Johnny Seed packets are actually more, like the quantity is more versus Baker Creek and sometimes Johnny. So those, along with, again, like I said, Botanical Interest, is where I like to purchase, but I just didn't do that this year. And I like to, when I'm sitting down, before I finish this, I like to sit down on my computer and have every single seed website open, so that way I can literally shop. Do I need basil? Which one has the cheapest for more seed and the variety that I need? And then I purchase from there. And then if the prices are somewhat comparable, if I need to get free shipping, like I said on Johnny's, then I will shuffle a bunch of seed over to Johnny's so I can get that free shipping. Just what I do. If that helps you, great. If not, just leave it. M.I. Gardener is a total of $134.39. Herbs was a total of $20.80. Veggies, I got 38 pieces, 38, I have pieces right here, but 38 packets. and it's $71.99. And then flowers, I got 27 varieties of flowers for only $43.20, which that is the MI Gardener total. And then which brings my grand total right here to $404.02 of what I spent for this year of seed. And then my herbs is a total of $74. Veggies is $130.64, and then flour is $184.80. The reason why I purchased so much, this might be a little for you, or this might be way too much for you, and that's okay. You do not have to buy as much as I am. My goal is, I see herbs as a $74 investment for a year's plus worth of herbs. Behind me, you see a dehydrator and a freeze dryer. I like to freeze dry and dehydrate all of my herbs because the flavor is so different than anything store-bought. Plus, I know what chemicals are in my soil, and herbs are one of those. They suck out every toxin in the ground, and then you're eating that. So that's important for me. Veggies, I see $130 investment for, again, a seasonal fresh produce, but also a year's worth of tomatoes, pickles, anything tomato based. That is a huge investment for me, and I will definitely, hopefully, get my bang back for what I put in. Now, flowers is probably the most expensive, which is almost $200. So $184.80 for flowers. My daughter likes to be in the garden with me, but she likes to nibble. So she will go through and eat everything in the garden, but her fancy is flowers. She likes that. And in order for me to encourage her to have quality time with me in the garden, I am going to give her flowers to grow so that we can enjoy the garden season together. She also has it in her mind that she would like to go and sell flowers at a flower market or at a farmer's market, and I want to encourage her entrepreneurship with that goal. So $184, that's a lot because I don't know how much we're going to get back in that, but I think it's okay to spend some money on my kid. You will probably note that this is in my catch-all room. I have my office right here, my Bible study. You'll see my garden map up there that we will go over in the next couple videos. And then I've just got tons of stuff everywhere because we are under construction. So things kind of get shuffled to each room, and well, this stuff is in my room right now. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I was really having a hard time going back and forth, contemplating whether or not to share with you the entire Johnny seed order, everything that I got. And I just kept going back in my mind, if I'm gonna wanna know what cucumbers that gal is growing, I'm not gonna wanna go back and forth multiple times to see like what cucumbers she got from Johnny seed versus what cucumbers she got from Baker Creek. So that's why I'm structuring this video this way. If you have any feedback, let me know in the comments below. All right, we're gonna get started with flowers, and this is all the flowers that we got. We have some, Baker Creek will give you free seed packets, so you can see that right here is a free seed packet. So I have purple zinnias. So we have a plethora of zinnias here. A free seed packet. We've got zinnias here, $21.15, and I have on all the Johnny seed, their prices are right here. So that should be helpful for you. And don't be upset, I'm gonna be making a mess because later on in the next video, you'll see how I'm gonna structure this to organize it for seed starting actually happening. Giant wine. And the frustrating thing with Johnny seed is they don't have the picture, not the color, but the picture on there. So my daughter went ahead and went through the seed catalog, and she taped or glued the color and what the flower looks like. Okay, bachelor buttons are really easy to grow. I've got a ton of them from MI Gardener, and then a couple bachelor buttons from Baker Creek. Now, nasturtiums are my favorite to grow in the green stalks. So I've got a couple nasturtiums here. We have not grown asters before, but we got a couple different colors. Again, these are MI Gardener, $2 a packet. The mammoth are really, really big. I actually have the Bulgarian giant and the mammoth gray seed from last year that I saved myself. So these will just be added to it. And these actually are a really great supplement for your chicken feed. Bells of Ireland. These are really pretty. What are they called? Gumfrina. I'm not a flower expert, you guys, but this will be super fun this year. We've got some others, including some straw flower and carnation, along with whatever this larkspur is. These right here are pelleted because the seed are so tiny. So they're gonna come in little vials like this. We have more cosmos. These are M.I. Gardner flower. So that's really pretty. $2 a packet. These cosmos, $11.05, $7.45, and $6.40. Butterfly milkweed and swamp milkweed. We are actually the migration path for all of the butterfly pollinators, including the monarch, and I thought it would be really fun to plant some milkweed on our property to see if they could smell it and come to our property and just kind of say hello on their migration. Next is pumpkin and squash, and you guys, these are going to be super fun to share with you. We actually have a ton of pumpkin that we give to our chickens to supplement their feed. In fact, you will see out there, we have a new pile of tons of pumpkin for our chickens and our geese and our ducks. And that's just a great way that we can take advantage of our property to supplement our chicken feed. Chicken feed is quite expensive these days, so if we can give them a couple pumpkins and maybe not a cup or two of food, then that will save us money in the long haul. Plus, the Lady Godiva, and let me see if the other one is in here, if I had to purchase it. Lady Godiva and the Cocky, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. These are actually hullless seed pumpkin varieties. So if you like to roast your own pumpkin seed, these two varieties right here are going to be something that you're going to want to grab for your property because you can just basically crack them open and then roast the seeds, and you don't have to sit there and hull them or roast them a little bit longer because they don't have the hull on the seed. Kind of cool. Loofah gourd, I have tried to grow for maybe 4 years now and have never had a success with these. So I'm going to try sowing them indoors this year. You really don't want to have pumpkin get root bound. They are kind of temperamental, but every time I plant them outside, our spring is so sporadic because we are right on the line of 2 different growing zones. I never know what our spring is going to be, and these have died every single year. So we'll see. But it would be really nice to have our own loofah gourd to chop up and place in our own soap. Okay, Blue Hubbard, we have sweet meat, Table King acorn squash. We have the birdhouse gourd, that is super fun. The loofah gourd, again, I have another loofah. Jack Be Little, the Weeby Little, and the Baby Boo pumpkins, honestly, are so silly, but they make my heart very happy when I see them growing in my garden because they're just so cute. We don't really do anything with them, but they're cute and it's fun to see them grow. Now we have the larger pumpkin. I have not grown this before, but I have grown Sugar Pie, Jack-o'-lantern, Jarrahdale, and the Long Island cheese. These guys are probably the best for baking anything like pumpkin. It's really fun to bake them in your oven, scrape them all out, freeze dry them, and then you can add them to any type of pumpkin muffin, pumpkin cake, or even make your own pumpkin latte creamer because you're using the powder form, which is a very concentrated pumpkin flavor without having the weird pumpkin texture. Okay, we've got some vegetables and fruits here. So I've got another free seed packet from Baker Creek. I've got some oak leaf lettuce. This is pelleted. I have a chalupa. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is the chalupa lettuce that I really, really enjoy. It is like a romaine lettuce. It grows super fast and it is heat tolerant. We're here on the Idaho Prairie Desert and it gets really hot really quickly and then it gets freezing cold really quickly. And so our dramatic and drastic temperature changes can be a little difficult for some crops, and I'm still learning. Okay, the Muncher cucumber, the lemon cucumber, the Ashley cucumber, those are the 3 cucumbers I'm going to be growing this year. I'm not doing any pickling because I don't have grapes, and I really do think that grape leaves in your pickles just make a pickle really, really good. And I've done pickles for so many years. This will be a story for when we go over our garden plan and my plan for my garden, but I'm really condensing down what we're growing this year, and I'm trying to focus in on supplementing the grocery store instead of growing a ton of food that I still need to purchase a lot more food with. So those are the cucumbers we're growing this year because we love to eat them. Florence fennel, I love to juice. So this is just such a good juicing fennel. And then Tiny Tim tomatoes. These are going to be my favorite for the green stock or that vertical garden space. The orange currant are so fun to grow, and this year I hope to get enough to maybe make some jam or something with that. Champagne bubbles and the blue cream berries and the black cherry tomato are my absolute favorite cherry tomatoes. These right here, I could eat them until I probably have to puke. They're so delicious and so flavorful. They make it worth it. I grow a lot of cherry tomatoes, and those will pretty much be breakfast some mornings. Okay, black cherry tomato is pretty good also. And then I have Roma, San Marzano, and then Jersey Devil. I typically only grew Amish paste, but as of the last couple years, I've had a little bit of issues with blossom end rot and some just kind of blight-ish, but for tomatoes, problems. And I want to just think it's probably the heat and the wind because we are not on irrigation. We use sprinkles. We use sprinklers. And so I'm wondering if these varieties will be a little different. So we'll see. Jumping into onions and peppers, the Walla Walla onion, the red ruby, or ruby red, excuse me, I had dyslexia, so if I say something backwards and you're reading it the correct way, that's probably going to happen a couple times. And then American flag leek, along with the Tokyo, goodness, long white bunching onion. These are really good. Those are the onions that I'm growing this year. Onions are something that we can get here in Idaho pretty cheap-ish, but I grew a year's worth of onion one time, and I just thought it was so fascinating to string up my own onion. It was very prideful of me to be able to do that. I felt a lot of satisfaction in that, and I kind of want to do it again with some red onion this year as well. So we'll see if that works. Plus, I love freeze-dried green onions. I like to make lots of Asian dishes throughout the winter, and having some freeze-dried green onions would be super fun to add. Peppers, I have not had a successful pepper year since we moved to this property. It's been 5 years of gardening, and I'm hoping this is the year that I get a ton of peppers. So we'll see. I'm going to do the YOLO Wonder Bell, the Habanada, because I love the color. I just don't like the spice and the heartburn. The Nata Peño, or the acid reflux. And then the Hungarian yellow wax. I would really like to do more pepperoncinis. I did my first round of pepperoncinis last year with the minimal amount that I got. I was able to like fraction the recipe just so I could make my 6 jars of homegrown pepperoncinis or pepperoncinis, and that was so cool. So hopefully I can get some wax peppers and sweet banana peppers and make some more. All right, we don't eat a whole lot of greens outside of just romaine lettuce and lettuce types besides collard greens and kale, but I am a juicing freak, so I love to juice. Collard greens and kale are kind of those two greens that I use outside of the Florence fennel, and that is because they are so nutritious for you and really good for your skin and your digestive system. However, this is also a really great way that we feed our goats some treats, and also our rabbits love this. So this is not only a filler, it's also a trap crop, which means all my aphids and all those things will go to this food group instead of anything else that's growing in my garden. So it's kind of a catch-all, these two guys. Okay, going into melons, I have the Minnesota Midget and the Hale's Best Jumbo. These two have grown pretty well, but my problem is mice. They always get to them quicker than we can, and last year we finally got a couple, and the year prior we got one. So I think my goal is this year I'm going to go ahead and trellis these so they're growing up on one of the cattle panel trellises instead of along the ground, and hopefully we can have them before the mice get them. All right, I've got some carrots here now, and carrots are going to be the ones that I buy in pelleted form, like I shared with you in the beginning of the video. And I like the hybrid storage carrot. This is the Borello or on this one right here for you, because this is like one of the best storage carrots. And then these guys are the purple carrots. I buy the purple carrots for one specific reason. I buy them and then I buy the seed. I grow a ton of them, like anywhere from 100 to 150. I harvest them, I juice them, and then I freeze them in little cubes. I add those to my smoothies. They're really, really good. It's really cool. Plus, it's like this deep purple color, and without making any health claims here, so I get censored, go and look up what purple foods do for your body. And there's a word called anthocyanin that you're going to want to look up specifically. And that is why I grow purple carrots. Now we're gonna move on. One more thing before we do, it's sugar snap peas. We grow a lot of sugar snap peas in the spring. I've never done it in the fall, but I'm hoping to this year get these started indoor, transplant them out, and then get a lot more harvest this year, because sugar snap peas are just so yummy to munch on, honestly. And then if we could do that again in the fall, that would be really cool, but we'll see. This is one of those big, large packets moving into are edible herbs and flowers. So you're going to see some flowers, but they're edible or medicinal, and so I place them in with the herbs category. So I have the Cruiser cilantro here. This is slower to bolt in the heat. I will only place a couple cilantro in my garden for the spring, but I have to wait until the end of July to go ahead and plant the rest of the cilantro, and then I will harvest cilantro all the way up until like February in a green frame or a glass frame, because it does so well here. We have a very mild winter when we have it covered, and that's what we'll plan on doing this next year. This is a lot of cilantro seed. It was only $11. I said, why not? Because we love cilantro, and this will last me a few years, I hope. Last but not least, we are almost done, is the herbs. So we have cilantro, I have purple coneflower. This has an entire 4x8 bed because I want the echinacea to do a lot for me medicinally, the root and the flower. But last year we had some rabbits get into that bed, and I'm not sure how carrot seed ended up in there either. So I'm going to go ahead and just kill the bed and replant it. Unfortunately, that's frustrating because coneflower actually takes 2 years to flower. So I'll have some root in there, but not exactly the flower. I also have some Calypso cilantro. I thought I'd give it a try. German chamomile, Roman chamomile, dandelion. I also like to juice these guys also. I have this dandelion and then Italian dandelion, Genovese basil, and then the dwarf Greek basil. Those are the only basils I grow. Genovese gets into the garden, and this dwarf basil is so cute in a green stalk. Adorable. Chives, tons of chives. Parsley, and then I have the flat leaf parsley. The flat leaf parsley is for my rabbits, and the curly parsley is for me because that's just what I like. Broadleaf sage, rosemary, tons of different rosemaries because I still have yet to have a really good established rosemary plant. And then I have some winter thyme, some English thyme, oregano, spearmint, and some yarrow. Yarrow is extremely medicinal. And there is one more thing that I could not find seed for that I need to add. I will be going to my nursery and getting mojito mint. I don't know why I could not find mojito mint seed. So if you know, please tell me in the comments below if you have purchased mojito mint and where you got it, because I would love to buy some of that. So for that, I only have mint just for hanging, for teas, and for herbal medicinal additives for our animals, but I would really love mojito mint because that's the mint that I like. And now that I have this huge mess, I'm going to give you a segue into the next video that I'll be uploading. So follow along if you're wanting to know more information about my photo boxes that I will store all of my seeds in. After I go ahead and store them, we will be going through and making sure that I can collect every seed that I want to grow from last year's purchases and this year's, and then we will categorize them together. And I will be sharing with you my system that I have put into place that helps me stay consistent with starting my seeds on a timely manner and having my garden work for me instead of me working for my garden. I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please like it and comment below what you enjoyed, what seeds you will be growing this year, and if you want more information about me or more day-to-day life, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and I share more about my day-to-day life on my stories, as well as quicker videos to just give you the nitty-gritty and the information you need really quick with the reels over there, and I will see you in the next video.